Welcome back, Perspective people. Thank you for tuning in for another video. Today we will be talking spoilers about the Super Mario Brothers movie that came out this past week. So if you have not seen it or you don't want to hear any spoilers, this is your chance to leave. I did have a spoiler-free review that I uploaded as soon as I got out of the theater yesterday. If you haven't had the chance to check it out, go ahead and check that out first. And then once you're done with the movie or when you're ready for the spoilers, come back here. So, what is this movie really about? Well, Mario and Luigi are living in Brooklyn. They're starting their new plumbing service. And seems like, it's not really, although they're excited for it, it's not really panning out that the way they had really thought it to be, right? So, they're pretty much mocked by their previous employer. They're mocked by some of their family members. And then there's this huge thing that happens in Brooklyn where all the pipes are breaking out, so all the water is starting to flood the streets. And then Mario takes that as a sign of, okay, this is where we fix Brooklyn and become the Mario Brothers, known for their plumbing services. So they go ahead and they venture out, and eventually they go ahead and find this pipe that takes them to the Mushroom Kingdom, where obviously they meet Peach, and Mario does. Luigi ends up being in, I believe it's the Lava Kingdom. I forgot, but it's where the Luigi's Mansion game would take place. Basically they're separated, and the entire movie is about Mario looking for Luigi, and then Luigi discovering the horrors of Bowser, and then Peach getting everyone living within those kingdoms. They know about Bowser taking over, and so Mario decides to work with Peach to save the Mushroom Kingdom, which in turn helps him end up saving his brother and getting along with everyone else for the big ol' ending where everyone just beats Bowser. So, was it enjoyable? Hell yeah. Like, I gave it, a critical score. If I was going in there as a critic, I gave it an 8 out of 10. It was an enjoyable movie. But as a fan, I give it like a 9 out of 10 because I really loved every single thing in there. And if I'm a Super Mario fan, I'm a Mario fan myself, but if I was a bigger fan, like anyone else out there, I'm not the biggest Mario fan, so I'm sure there's people that are going to be bigger than me on that. It's a 9 out of 10, man. It's definitely worth watching. Now, to go ahead and get started with the spoiler review, I'm going to go ahead and start listing off of the positives in this movie. So the characters, right? The characters in this movie were like top notch. I love the fact that they have just the right amount of characters in this movie. I felt really good that the fact they had Mario, Luigi, Peach. Those are the necessities, and then obviously Bowser. And then you had Donkey Kong, you had Toad, you had all these other side characters that make the movie, that actually elevate the movie to be more enjoyable rather than just for the sake of, oh, let's do a cameo here and there. No. And they didn't overwhelm us either, right? They didn't throw every single character they could have, which is cool because it leads to more room for sequels in the future. So, the game references in this movie, they were amazing. I have my notes right here. That's what I'm reading. The game references in this movie were pretty fun to see, right? Luigi's Mansion was referenced in there. Mario Kart, such a great way to go ahead and pay dedication to Mario Kart. And in fact, you know what? There's some scenes in here where the Mario Brothers or, Mario and Luigi, they're going through their day and it plays like the game. I feel like that's a trend. So, I mean, it's a good trend because it pays homage to the actual game that the movie is based off of. And then Luigi's Mansion, Mario Kart, those scenes were great. Donkey Kong's scenes were great. And the comedy. That's another great thing about this movie is I couldn't stop laughing at what was supposed to be funny, right? Like that, it wasn't forced humor. It just worked perfectly. And I think a lot of that also has to do with the other positive, which is the cast of this movie. You had Jack Black. You had Charlie Day. You had Chris Pratt. You had Key from Key and Peele. I'm sorry, I don't know his full name, but I've always known him as Key because that's who we've been watching. You could tell that the cast had a blast making this movie, which in turns made the comedy amazing, their characters amazing, and it was just perfect casting. Seth Rogen, right, as Bowser. Seth Rogen as Donkey Kong, and then you had Jack Black as Bowser. I can't think of a better casting than this. I know at the beginning people were a little worried, myself included, with the whole Mario voice being by Chris Pratt, because when he spoke in the trailer, I'm like, that doesn't sound like Mario. But then it makes sense once you watch this movie, because they do have, when they're doing the advertisement, they're talking just like the game versions of themselves. But in reality, so they made it clear that what you see in the game is just basically their alter ego, I would put it as. Um, the pacing of this movie was another great thing about it. And it certainly made the movie length even better, right? Instead of the usual movie length we've been seeing lately with 2 hours, 2.5 hours, and whatnot. This movie was about an hour and a half. I think it was 1 hour, 32 minutes. And so the pacing kept along. There was never a time where it was like, this is going too slow. Everything moved along well, everything worked well together, and it was just the perfect length. The music, another great thing. The music was enjoyable, it was fun, but Jack Black's Peaches, it's got to win an Emmy, man. Even if I'm joking, I think that the song is just stuck in my head, but I loved it. I loved it. That's not to say that the movie was without any faults, but there were really only about two complaints I had about it. One was the story is generic. It is about the main cast getting separated, and they have to find a way back, save the world, whatnot, whatever you've seen from thousands of other movies. But and then the other thing is the Bowser. I loved Bowser, and I felt like a lot of times Bowser just wasn't in it enough, in my opinion. Your opinion may differ. Maybe you will enjoy that a lot more. But I really thought they could have used a few more scenes, or at least something to make Bowser a little bit more screen time, because Jack Black was killing it as Bowser. And other than that, really, those are the only two complaints. So that is why, as a critic review, I gave it an 8 out of 10. And as a fan, I gave it a 9 out of 10, because personally, as a fan, I just wanted more Bowser. If I had more Bowser, this probably would have been a 10 out of 10 for a fan, right? So if you were to combine those together, you get an 8.5 out of 10. That's the final score. But what did you think about the movie? Did you enjoy it as much as I did? Did it have more problems, less problems for you than I did? What score would you give it? Let's go ahead and create that conversation down in the comment section down below. And please don't forget to subscribe. Hit that post notification bell for future uploads. Until then, spread love. I love you all. Have a great day and a good one.